This chosen one, listen closely. This moment you find yourself in is not by chance. It's not a random occurrence that your eyes are on these words right now. No, there is a divine reason, one that goes far beyond what you can comprehend at this very moment. For the last few hours, something sacred has been trying to reach you. Heaven has been leaning in, preparing you for what is about to unfold. This is not just another ordinary day. Something significant is stirring in the unseen, and it has everything to do with you. You may not feel it in the natural world, but in your spirit, there's a deep knowing that a shift is coming. You've been feeling it perhaps like a quiet pressure in your chest or an inexplicable stillness in the air around you. That stillness, that gentle but persistent feeling, that's not coincidence. It's the echo of a breakthrough approaching. God the Almighty, the one who holds the universe in his hands, is with you right now. He sees you, he is watching, and he delights in you. Zephaniah 3:17 tells us that he takes great joy in his chosen ones, and he rejoices over them with singing. Even if you don't feel it, know, this heaven has been waiting for this moment, and now it is here. There have been signs, haven't there? Moments in your day that felt out of place, an inexplicable unease, a flicker of emotion you couldn't quite explain. Perhaps a heaviness in your heart when you thought you were just tired, or a sense that something was subtly shifting inside of you. These aren't mere coincidences. These are gentle nudges from the Creator. The world moves so quickly, so loudly, that it's easy to miss the sacred moments that God places right in front of us. The noise of everyday life, the rush, the distractions, the demands, makes it all too easy to ignore the sacred whispers that call us to something deeper, to something higher. But even in the chaos, God hasn't missed you. Not for a second. Think about it. The forced smile you wore when your heart was heavy, the conversations where you nodded along, but inside you were retreating. The silent tears, the ones no one saw because you thought you had to hold it together. He saw it all. He saw you, and he understands. Now in this moment you have a choice. Not out of fear, not because something is wrong, but because God has been preparing you for something greater. And you are ready. You're ready to receive what he has for you. But before you move forward, take a moment to breathe, to settle yourself. Because when heaven calls, it's never to overwhelm or pressure. It's to awaken. And right now, God is awakening something deep within you. He is calling you into this sacred moment, and this moment is yours. To listen, to receive, and to step into what he has been preparing for you. So before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. This call is a call to readiness. The timing is perfect. The door is opening, and you are invited to walk through it. You are invited to step into this divine moment with an open heart, ready to receive all that God has for you. Let this be the moment where you pause, reflect, and prepare. Something holy is beginning, and you chosen one are at the center of it. Now, chosen one, let's pause and reflect on the deeper truth unfolding around you. The weight you feel in the air, the stirring in your heart, this is not something to overlook. It is a divine shift happening, one that has been in the making long before today. This moment that feels like a quiet pressure or a gentle nudge is God's presence moving around you, working behind the scenes to align you with his will. And you must not miss it. In the stillness of this moment, something profound is beginning to unfold. It's like the quiet before a storm. This stillness is not empty. It's saturated with divine energy, waiting to rise up and fill your life. The shift is not a fleeting emotion or an isolated event. This is a breakthrough that has been long awaited, and now it's drawing near. You might wonder, why now? Why this moment? The answer lies in divine timing. God has been preparing you for this season and every moment of your life up until now. Every trial, every setback, every joy, every struggle has led to this sacred space. This is a time of realignment. A time when everything that has been building up in your spirit, whether you were aware of it or not, is now coming to fruition. Have you noticed the small signs? The way certain things seem to happen at just the right moment, even though they appear random at first. The names that keep popping into your thoughts, the memories that return uninvited, the dreams that feel too vivid to ignore. They're not random. These are threads. Threads that God is using to pull you toward His plan, and He's been weaving them for a long time. Think back. Perhaps there were moments in your day or in your week where you felt uneasy for no reason. Maybe a sudden wave of emotion washed over you, or a thought lingered longer than it should have. That wasn't just stress. That wasn't just your mind playing tricks. That was God gently knocking at the door of your heart, calling you to something greater. And though the world is full of noise, He never stopped calling. It's easy to miss the sacred amidst the rush of life, the demands of the day. The distractions, the constant flow of information, they all drown out the whispers of the divine. But even in the chaos, God has seen you. He sees the parts of you that no one else does. He sees the quiet moments when you thought no one was watching, the way you held it together when you wanted to break, the way you pushed through when all you wanted was to give up. He sees the hurt you've carried in silence, the dreams you've kept hidden because you thought they were too far out of reach. Now in this moment, He is inviting you to receive. Not out of fear, not because you're unworthy, but because He has been preparing your heart for what's about to come. You have been chosen not because of what you've done or how perfect you are, but because of who you are in His eyes. And you're ready to step into the next chapter, ready to walk in alignment with His purpose. And as this sacred invitation comes, God is asking for your presence. That's all. Not your perfection, not your plans, not your efforts. Just your willingness to be present in the moment. Because in this moment, your readiness to receive is more important than any action you could take. The door is opening, but it will only open if you walk through it with your heart fully engaged. This moment is not about striving. It's about surrendering. The urge to fix, to force, to hurry, it's all part of the old ways. In this new season, you are being asked to trust the timing of the divine, even when it doesn't make sense. God isn't calling you to fix your circumstances. He's calling you to align with His timing. And in that alignment, everything will fall into place. You may not see it yet, but there is a divine plan unfolding before you. The shift is happening, and it's bringing you closer to the life you've always been meant to live. But here's the thing: you can't force it. You can't hurry it. You can't make it happen on your own. This moment requires trust. Trust that God's timing is perfect and that He is working behind the scenes to bring everything into alignment. Remember the story of Elijah when he was hiding in the cave, feeling isolated and alone. He was tired, discouraged, and convinced that God had abandoned him. But when he went out to stand on the mountain, God didn't come in the mighty wind, the earthquake, or the fire. No, God came in a whisper, a quiet, still whisper. And in that whisper, Elijah found his purpose and his peace. Sometimes the most profound moments of spiritual awakening don't come in the loud, dramatic events. They come in the quiet, the stillness, the pause. And right now, God is inviting you into that stillness. He's asking you to trust that even in the quiet, even when nothing seems to be happening, He is at work. And this work is not just for today. It's for the future He is preparing you for. The stillness you feel now is not a sign of stagnation. It's a sign of something holy, something deep taking root inside you. This quiet is the soil in which your transformation is happening. And as this divine work unfolds, you will begin to notice small shifts, moments of clarity, breakthroughs that seem to come from nowhere, opportunities that appear unexpectedly. These are not coincidences. These are the signs of divine realignment. And in this realignment, there will be a shift in your heart. The things that once seemed important will lose their grip on you. The worries, the fears, the distractions, they will begin to fade away. And in their place will be a deep peace. Not peace that comes from everything being perfect, but peace that comes from knowing you are exactly where you're supposed to be. This is the work of divine timing. It's not about forcing things to happen. It's about stepping back and allowing God to move in His perfect timing. You may not see the full picture yet, but trust that God does. And He is leading you forward, step by step, into the life He has always planned for you. Right now, God is calling you to move forward, but not in the way you might think. It's not about rushing. It's not about pushing. It's about listening to that still, quiet voice that calls you forward. It's about being present in this moment, trusting that the path is already unfolding, even if you can't see it yet. The door is opening, chosen one. But it's not opening because of your effort. It's opening because of God's grace. It's not about you having everything figured out. It's about you being ready to step into the life He's been preparing for you all along. And that readiness begins with stillness. It begins with listening. And it begins with trusting that the timing is perfect even when it doesn't make sense. Chosen one, now that we have begun to understand the timing and stillness, let's explore the quiet work that God has been doing within you. It's easy to get distracted by the rush of the world, the noise, the demands, the endless tasks that seem to fill every corner of our days. But right now, I want you to focus on the transformation that's been happening inside of you, even when it felt like nothing was changing. This sacred shift, this quiet reorientation of your heart and mind has been happening beneath the surface, and it's leading you into a divine realignment that will impact every area of your life. You see, there's a divine process that's been unfolding even when you couldn't see it. And sometimes this process can feel slow, frustrating, or even confusing. You might have wondered, why hasn't anything changed yet? Why do I still feel like I'm stuck in the same place? The truth is, while your external circumstances may seem unchanged, God has been working in ways that you could not have anticipated. He's been preparing you not just for what's next, but for the purpose that He created you to fulfill. The process of transformation is often invisible at first. It's not always dramatic, and it's rarely instant. Just as a seed grows slowly beneath the surface of the soil, so too does your spirit undergo a quiet growth that no one can see at first. You've been in a season of hidden preparation where God has been strengthening you in the unseen places, equipping you for what is about to unfold. Think of the story of Joseph. His journey was long and filled with hardships. From being betrayed by his brothers to being thrown into prison, it seemed as though his life was one setback after another. But through each trial, God was shaping his character, preparing him for the moment when he would rise to power and save many lives. Joseph didn't see the full picture in the midst of his trials, but God did. And when the time was right, Joseph's purpose was revealed in a way that far exceeded his imagination. In the same way, you may have faced setbacks, delays, and moments of confusion. But through it all, God has been refining you, preparing you for something greater. The work He's been doing in you is not something that can be rushed or forced. It's a work that takes time, patience, and trust. And now, as you step into this new season, you will begin to see the fruit of that transformation. But it's not just about seeing the fruit. It's about recognizing that the fruit you are about to bear will be the result of the inner work that God has already done in your life. The external circumstances will follow the inner transformation, the peace, the joy, the clarity that you feel in your heart right now. It is not an accident. It is the evidence of the quiet work that God has been doing in you all along. As you begin to see the changes in your life, don't be tempted to rush ahead. Don't be distracted by the desire to make things happen on your own terms. This is a time to lean in and trust the process. Just as a tree doesn't hurry to bear fruit, neither should you rush to step into the fullness of what God has for you. There is a natural rhythm to this process, and God is asking you to trust that rhythm. There's a reason why God's timing is always perfect, even when we don't understand it. We live in a world that thrives on instant gratification, but God's kingdom works differently. His timing is not dictated by the clock. It's guided by His divine wisdom. And while it might feel like things are moving slowly, rest assured that God is aligning everything according to His perfect plan. You are not waiting in vain. You are being prepared. The door that is opening for you now has been set in motion long before you realized it. This quiet internal transformation is what will give you the strength and wisdom to walk through the door when the time comes. Without it, you might have been overwhelmed by what lies ahead, but now you are equipped, steady, and ready. And this readiness is not something you have to force. It comes naturally as you embrace the stillness and allow God to shape you from the inside out. You may also notice that the things that once consumed your mind, worries, fears, and distractions, are beginning to lose their grip on you. The anxiety that used to weigh you down no longer feels as heavy. The doubts that once clouded your mind are starting to fade. This is the work of God's peace taking root in your life. It's the stillness that comes when your spirit aligns with His will, when you stop striving and start trusting. Think about the story of Mary, the mother of Jesus. She had no idea what the future held when she first received the angel's message that she would bear the Savior of the world. But she trusted, she believed, and she said, "Let it be done to me, according to your word." In that moment of surrender, Mary stepped into her divine purpose. She didn't need to understand everything. She didn't need all the answers. She just needed to trust. And through that trust, God did something miraculous in her life. Your story, chosen one, is no different. You don't need to understand every detail of what's coming next. What you need to do is trust. Trust that God is in control. Trust that He has been preparing you even in the hidden places. And trust that this moment, this stillness, is not a sign of inactivity. It's a sign of alignment. As you step into this new season, you may find that you have more peace than you ever thought possible. You may feel a sense of clarity and purpose that has been absent for so long. This is not an accident. It's the result of your transformation. The work that has been done quietly beneath the surface is now becoming visible in your life. But this peace is not just a feeling. It's a state of being. It's a sign that you are moving in divine alignment, walking in step with God's purpose for your life. And as you continue to walk this path, you will begin to see the fruit of your transformation. The doors that were once closed will begin to open. The obstacles that seemed insurmountable will begin to clear away. And you will walk into a new season one where your purpose is clear, your path is steady, and your heart is at peace. But before all that happens, you must be still. You must be present in this moment, trusting that God is working even when you can't see it. You must allow Him to continue His work in you, knowing that He is shaping you for something greater. And as you trust Him, you will begin to see how everything that has happened in your life, the good, the bad, and the in-between, has all led you to this sacred moment. Chosen one, we are diving deeper now. As we continue this journey together, it's important to understand the layers of divine realignment that are taking place in your life. You may have felt the weight of confusion, or perhaps you've wondered why certain things haven't gone the way you expected. But I want you to hear this clearly. What you have perceived as delays, setbacks, and even disappointments were in reality divine interventions. God has been quietly repositioning you not to harm you, but to protect you and align you with your true purpose. You see, this process of realignment isn't always comfortable. It's often hidden, and it doesn't always make sense in the moment. You may have questioned why certain opportunities closed, why people walked out of your life, or why things that seemed perfect at the time suddenly fell apart. But every one of those experiences was a thread in a divine tapestry. And while the individual threads may have seemed chaotic or out of place together, they were woven to create a perfect picture that only God could see from the beginning. In your life, this realignment has been happening in ways that may have been subtle, but it has been profound. Perhaps you felt things slipping away as though your world is shifting under your feet. Relationships have changed, your job may have taken a turn, or dreams you once cherished may seem further out of reach. But let me remind you that God has been at work in all of this. This realignment, while sometimes uncomfortable, is a divine realigning of your heart, your mind, and your purpose. Think of the story of Abraham, who was called by God to leave everything he knew and step into the unknown. Abraham didn't understand why he was being asked to leave his home, his family, and everything familiar to him. But in obedience, he stepped out in faith, not knowing where he was going or how it would all unfold. What seemed like a loss in the natural realm A loss of comfort, stability, and security was actually the very thing that positioned him to receive the promises God had in store for him. Abraham's journey wasn't easy, but it was necessary for the fulfillment of the divine promise. This is your story too, chosen one. You may have had to let go of things that once felt central to your identity. You may have had to walk away from people, places, or situations that no longer served your divine purpose. But in that letting go, God has been clearing the way for something better. The realignment that has been taking place in your life is not about stripping away what's good, but about positioning you for what's next. God sees the bigger picture, and He knows that the things that once held you back will only hinder you in the future. And so as things have shifted in your life, God has been positioning you in ways you couldn't have anticipated. It's easy to get caught up in the pain of change, but I want to encourage you to shift your perspective. Instead of viewing these changes as losses, begin to see them as opportunities. Opportunities for growth. Opportunities to step into the fullness of your calling. Opportunities to embrace the new things God is bringing into your life. You are not in a season of abandonment. You are in a season of preparation. God is preparing you for something greater than you could have imagined. Just as a sculptor chisels away at a block of stone to reveal the masterpiece within, God has been shaping you, molding you, and removing everything that no longer aligns with the life He has called you to live. And yes, this process can feel uncomfortable at times, but it is for your good. It's for your growth. It's for your divine purpose. God's realignment isn't just about your external circumstances. It's about your heart, your mind, and your spirit. He is changing you from the inside out, preparing you to step into the role He has been crafting for you. When you look back on this season, you will see that it was not a season of loss, but a season of divine preparation. You were not discarded, you were being positioned. But here's the important truth you need to hold on to. Chosen one realignment isn't just a one-time event. It's a continual process. Just as the seasons change in nature, so too does the process of realignment in your life. You are constantly being refined, constantly being shaped for the person you are becoming. The shift you are experiencing now is just one phase in the divine journey that will unfold in layers over time. As this shift continues to unfold, there may be moments when you feel like you are walking in the dark. You may feel uncertain about what lies ahead. And that's okay. Trust that God is with you in every step of the way. His presence is not bound by the limits of your understanding. When you don't see the path clearly, trust that He does. And in the quiet moments when everything feels still, God is there. He's working, He's moving, and He's preparing you for the fullness of the blessing He has promised. This realignment is a journey of faith. It's about trusting that God is leading you even when you can't see the end result. It's about surrendering your need for control and allowing God to guide you every step of the way. It's about stepping forward in faith even when you can't see the next step clearly. It's about trusting in God's timing even when it feels like nothing is happening. And it's about being still enough to hear His voice guiding you in the quiet places. You are not alone in this. You are not walking this path by yourself. God is with you, and He has a plan for your life that is far greater than anything you could have imagined. This realignment is not punishment. It's a divine invitation to step into something greater, something more aligned with His purpose for your life. As we move through this journey together, I encourage you to trust in the process. The changes you're experiencing are not random. They are a part of God's divine plan, a plan that has been in motion long before you even realized it. And as you continue to walk this path, remember that God's timing is always perfect. He has not forgotten you. He sees you, and He is guiding you every step of the way. Chosen one, as we continue to delve deeper into this divine process, let us now focus on the transformation that is taking place inside you, the realignment that is preparing you to step into your full purpose. It's important to realize that this journey, this shift, is not just about what is changing on the outside. The real power of this transition lies in what God is doing within you. It's a transformation of your heart, your mind, and your spirit. And as this transformation unfolds, it's shaping you into the person you are destined to become. The changes you're experiencing may feel unsettling at times. You may feel that the things you once relied on, the things that once gave you stability, are slipping away. Perhaps you are questioning why things have shifted in ways you didn't expect. And while the discomfort of change can sometimes make you doubt, I want you to know this. You are being made ready. God is not taking things from you. He is preparing you to carry the blessings that are coming. And those blessings are so much bigger than what you have imagined. In this moment of transformation, you may find that your desires are changing. What once seemed important to you might no longer hold the same appeal. The things that once consumed your thoughts and your energy may now seem distant, almost irrelevant. This shift in desire is a sign of your realignment. God is reshaping your desires to align with His purpose for your life. What you once thought you wanted may pale in comparison to what God is about to bring into your life. Think of the story of David. When God called him to be king, David was a young shepherd tending to his father's sheep. At that time, his desires were simple. He wanted to care for his flock, protect them from danger, and grow in his skills. But God saw something greater in David. He knew that David was destined to be a king, a man after his own heart. And so God began to prepare David not just by changing his external circumstances, but by transforming his heart. Over time, David's desires were shaped to align with God's will. And when the time came, David was ready to step into the role God had for him. Your transformation is no different. God is reshaping your desires, your goals, and your heart to align with His perfect plan. This is not just about what you're being asked to do, it's about who you are becoming. The person you were in the past may not be the person you will be in the future. God is refining you, preparing you for the calling He has placed on your life. And that calling is greater than you could have ever imagined. But this process is not instant. It doesn't happen overnight. This realignment is gradual, unfolding over the time. Just as a tree grows slowly, pushing its roots deep into the soil before it can bear fruit, so too is your spirit growing. And just as a tree's growth cannot be hurried, neither can your transformation. It is a slow and steady process, one that requires patience and trust. There may be moments when you feel like you are waiting for things to change, waiting for clarity, waiting for your breakthrough. But in these moments, I want you to remember this. Waiting is not wasted. It is in the waiting that God is doing His deepest work. It is in the waiting that you are being shaped, refined, and prepared. Consider the story of Joseph again. After he was sold into slavery by his brothers, he spent years in Egypt, enduring hardship, injustice, and false accusations. During these years, Joseph may have wondered if God had forgotten him, but God was using that time to shape Joseph's character. He was teaching him patience, integrity, and the wisdom needed to lead a nation. And when the time came for Joseph to rise to power, he was ready, not because of his circumstances, but because of the transformation that had taken place in his heart during the waiting. Your waiting is not in vain, chosen one. It is part of God's plan. He is preparing you for something greater, something more significant than you can imagine. And even when you don't see the progress, even when it feels like nothing is happening, know that God is working behind the scenes. He is shaping you for the future. He has planned for you, and He is doing so in ways that you cannot always see. But this transformation isn't just about patience, it's about trust. Trust that God knows what He is doing. Trust that His timing is perfect, even when it feels like everything is moving slowly. Trust that He is leading you to exactly where you need to be. Just as a farmer trusts the process of planting and waiting for the harvest, so too must you trust God's process in your life. He is faithful, and His promises will come to pass. As you step forward into this divine moment, I encourage you to embrace the stillness, embrace the quiet. This is not a time to rush or force things to happen. It is a time to be present and trust that God is working in your life even when you can't see it. The stillness that you feel is not emptiness, it is the presence of God, working in ways that you cannot yet fully understand. God's timing is perfect, and He is always ahead of you. The breakthrough you are waiting for is already on its way. And when the time comes, it will not come prematurely or too late. It will come exactly when it is supposed to. But this timing requires patience, trust, and presence. You are not alone in this journey. You are not waiting in vain. God has been with you every step of the way, shaping, refining, and preparing you for the future He has planned. This moment of stillness is not a sign of inactivity. It is a sign that God is at work. And when the time comes, you will see the fruit of your transformation. As you continue to move forward, chosen one, I encourage you to keep your heart open. Be willing to trust God's process, even when you don't understand it. Trust that He is doing something deeper within you. Trust that He is aligning your heart, your desires, and your purpose with His divine plan. This is a time of transformation, a time of realignment, a time of waiting, trusting, and becoming. And as you embrace this journey, you will begin to see the fruit of all that God has been working in you. Chosen one, we have journeyed so far into the process of transformation, and now it is time to explore what happens when you step into your divine purpose. We've already discussed the quiet shifts that God has been orchestrating in your heart, and we've touched on how He has been realigning your life in preparation for something greater. But now we need to talk about the next step, the divine invitation to step into the fullness of your calling. This moment is pivotal. It's not just a shift in your heart or mind anymore, it's a shift in your entire life. The time has come for you to embrace the destiny God has designed for you. But here's the truth, stepping into your divine purpose requires action. It requires you to respond to the call that God has placed on your life. And it's not just about knowing your purpose, it's about living it out every single day. You've been prepared, chosen one. All the waiting, all the trials, all the inner work you've gone through were not for nothing. They were leading you to this moment. Now, as you stand on the threshold of your divine purpose, you must be ready to take that first step. But the question is, are you ready? This isn't just a question of whether you're physically prepared or whether you have all the answers. This is a question of whether you are ready in your spirit. Are you ready to trust God completely? Are you ready to step into the unknown with the assurance that He is with you? Are you ready to move forward, not in your own strength, but in the strength that He provides? There's a powerful example in the Bible of someone who faced this very question, Moses. When God called him to lead the Israelites out of Egypt, Moses was full of doubts. He wasn't sure he was the right person for the job. He questioned his abilities, his worthiness, and even God's plan. But despite all of his doubts and fears, Moses stepped forward. He trusted in God's promise, and he allowed God to lead him. And through his obedience, a nation was freed. Your situation may not be the same as Moses', but the principle remains the same. God has called you. He has chosen you, and He has equipped you, but now He is asking you to step into your calling with trust and obedience. The time has come for you to leave behind the familiar, the comfortable and the known, and step into the fullness of what God has prepared for you. Stepping into your divine purpose requires a deep and unwavering trust in God's timing and provision. It means understanding that while you may not have all the answers, God does. And when He calls you to something, He will make a way for you. It's not about having it all figured out. It's about trusting that He will guide you every step of the way. You may feel the weight of uncertainty. The path before you may not be entirely clear, but that is where faith comes in. Faith is not the absence of fear, it's the decision to move forward despite the fear. It's the decision to trust God even when the way ahead seems uncertain. It's knowing that even when you can't see the full picture, God does. And He will reveal each step as you go. Remember, chosen one, that faith is a journey. It's not a one-time decision to trust God. It's a daily decision to surrender to His will and follow His leading. Just as you have trusted God in the quiet moments of preparation, now you must trust Him as you step into the new season He is leading you into. And here's something to remember as you step into your divine purpose. You will not be alone. You will never be asked to walk this path on your own. God is with you every step of the way. Just as He was with Moses, He is with you. And just as He provided for Moses along the way, giving him the strength, the wisdom, and the courage he needed, He will provide for you too. The journey ahead will not always be easy. There will be challenges, obstacles, and moments of doubt. But know this: every challenge you face is an opportunity for growth. Every obstacle is an invitation to trust God more deeply. And every moment of doubt is a chance to reaffirm your faith in His plan. As you walk in your divine purpose, remember that this is a process. It's a process of growth, of learning, and of becoming the person God created you to be. And it won't happen all at once. But every step you take, no matter how small, is a step closer to the person you are meant to become. God's plan for your life is bigger than you can imagine. His purpose for you is greater than anything you could ever dream up. But in order to step into that purpose, you must trust Him. You must trust that He has equipped you for this moment. You must trust that He has been preparing you for this very purpose, and now the time has come to step into it. You may feel the weight of the responsibility ahead of you. You may wonder if you're truly ready, if you're truly capable. But chosen one, I want you to hear this. God does not call the equipped. He equips the called. And He has called you. He has chosen you for this moment, and He will provide you with everything you need to fulfill His purpose in your life. As you step into your divine purpose, you will begin to see things fall into place. The pieces that once felt scattered and disconnected will start to align. The relationships, the opportunities, the dreams you've had, they will start to come together in ways that only God could orchestrate. And as this happens, you will realize that you are walking in the fullness of the life God has prepared for you. You are walking in the purpose He has designed for you from the very beginning. But this process requires your full participation. It requires your willingness to step forward in faith. It requires your trust in God's perfect timing and provision. And it requires your obedience. As you obey God's calling, you will see His purpose unfold in your life in ways that will astonish you. This is the beginning of a new chapter. The old is passing away, and the new is beginning. And chosen one, you are ready for it. You are ready to step into your divine purpose. You are ready to walk the path that God has laid out before you, and you are ready to embrace the fullness of His plan for your life. As you step forward, remember this: you are not walking in fear. You are walking in faith. You are not walking in uncertainty. You are walking in divine clarity. You are not walking in your own strength. You are walking in the strength that God provides. And as you take each step, know that He is with you, guiding you and empowering you to fulfill the purpose He has called you to. The time is now, chosen one. The door is open, and it's time for you to step into the life God has prepared for you. It won't be easy, but it will be worth it. And as you step forward, you will see the transformation that God has been working in you all along. You will see the fruit of your labor. You will see the fruit of your faith. And you will see the fulfillment of God's promises in your life. Chosen one, you've come so far in this journey, and as we continue together, I want you to pause for a moment and reflect. The steps you are taking, the changes you are experiencing, and the transformation within you are all leading to something extraordinary. The realignment that we've been talking about is not just about preparing for the next chapter. It's about embracing the fullness of the calling God has placed on your life. Now it's time to dive deeper into the understanding of how God uses the quiet moments, the interruptions, and the stillness to set the stage for what's to come. In this season of divine realignment, there may be times when you feel like things are happening too slowly or not at all. It's easy to get impatient when you're eager to see the fruits of your labor. But let me tell you, chosen one, patience is not just a waiting period. It's a time of active preparation. It's a time when you may not see the big picture yet, but rest assured, God is working in ways that will be revealed in due time. The pause, the quiet, and even the delay are all a part of the sacred process. Think about the way a seed grows. It doesn't immediately shoot up from the ground after being planted. No, it first buries itself deep into the soil. It takes time to establish its roots to gather the nutrients it needs to grow strong and steady. Only after that process is complete does the plant emerge, reaching for the sunlight. In the same way, your transformation has been taking place beneath the surface. Even if you haven't seen the results yet, know that God has been deeply at work in your spirit, preparing you to grow into the person He has designed you to be. This time of waiting, while it may feel uncertain, is God's gift to you. It's a space where your inner being can be strengthened. It's a season to deepen your faith, to allow your trust in God to be rooted more firmly than ever before. Just as you can't rush the process of a seed breaking through the soil, you can't rush God's divine timing. But in this waiting, you are being made ready for what is to come. I know there may be moments when it feels like you've missed something or are behind schedule. Maybe you're wondering if the delay means you're unqualified or that the opportunity has passed you by. But hear this truth, chosen one: God's timing is perfect. What you might perceive as a delay is simply a sacred pause, giving you the time you need to align fully with what He has planned for you. Remember, a delay is not a denial. It is part of the divine design that is shaping your heart, your mind, and your soul. The story of Joseph in the Bible is an incredible example of what it means to trust God during a delay. Joseph, as you remember, was sold into slavery by his brothers and spent years in prison for a crime he didn't commit. From the outside, it seemed like Joseph's life was going nowhere. But during those years, Joseph was being prepared for the very role he would play in saving Egypt and his own family from famine. The delays in his life were not setbacks. They were part of God's perfect timing. And when Joseph finally stepped into his divine purpose, he was ready. His character was shaped, his heart was aligned with God's will, and he was equipped to handle the responsibility God had for him. You may be in a season that feels similar. It may seem like your efforts are going unnoticed, or that the door you've been waiting for isn't opening. But let me encourage you with this: everything you've been through, every moment of waiting is preparing you for the moment when the door finally opens. When it does, you will walk through with confidence, not because of your own strength, but because of God's preparation in your life. His work in you is not in vain. It is intentional. It is sacred. And when the time comes, you will step into your purpose fully equipped and ready to shine. Another important aspect of the divine realignment process is the role of quiet surrender. It's easy to get caught up in the need to control, to make things happen in your own way and on your own timeline. But God is calling you to surrender. This is not about passivity. This is about trust. Trusting that He is in control and that He knows what is best for you. It's about allowing yourself to step back, to let go of the need to manage everything, and to trust that God's plan is unfolding exactly as it should. Surrendering to God doesn't mean you stop moving forward. It doesn't mean you stop working toward your dreams or goals. What it means is that you release the need to control the outcome. You trust that God will guide your steps and bring you into the right places at the right time. You trust that He is in the details even when you can't see them. And in that trust, you find peace. You find a deep, unwavering peace that allows you to move forward with confidence, knowing that God's plan is better than anything you could have imagined for yourself. Remember the story of Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane. In his moment of deepest sorrow and fear, he prayed, "Father, if you are willing, take this cup from me. Yet not my will, but yours be done." Luke 22:42. Jesus in his humanity wrestled with the coming pain, yet he surrendered fully to God's will. His surrender wasn't a sign of weakness. It was a sign of profound strength. It was the ultimate act of trust. And through that surrender, God brought about the greatest victory the world has ever known. In the same way, your surrender to God's will is not a sign of giving up, but a sign of your trust in His greater plan. When you surrender, you release the weight of carrying everything yourself. You allow God to step in and take control, knowing that His plans will always exceed your own. Surrender brings peace, clarity, and strength, because in that surrender you acknowledge that the Creator knows what is best for you. I want you to take a moment now, chosen one, and reflect on what areas of your life you need to surrender to God. What are you holding on to too tightly? Where are you trying to force things to happen in your own timing? This is a sacred opportunity to release those things to God. In your surrender, you make room for His divine plan to unfold in your life. You make room for the miracles, the breakthroughs, and the blessings that He is preparing for you. And here's the beautiful part. As you surrender to God's will, you are not left empty. God fills the spaces you release with His presence, His peace, and His provision. You may feel the weight of surrender at first, but once you trust Him, once you release the reins and allow God to take control, you will experience a peace like never before. And in that peace, you will find the strength to walk forward with confidence, knowing that God is with you every step of the way. This realignment, chosen one, is not about doing more. It's about being more. It's about being present in the moment, trusting God, and surrendering to His divine plan. And as you do, you will see that everything begins to fall into place. The pieces of your life that seemed scattered and disconnected will suddenly make sense. And you will step into your purpose, not in your own strength, but in God's. Chosen one, now that we have explored the journey of surrender and the quiet preparation happening within you, it's time to focus on something incredibly important, the breakthrough that is coming. You've felt the quiet, stirring the divine realignment and the peace that comes with trust and surrender. But now I want to share with you the truth that may resonate deeply within your spirit. Your breakthrough is not just a possibility, it is a divine certainty. You are standing on the precipice of something incredible, something that has been shaped, formed, and designed for you. For a long time, you may have questioned whether or not your dreams were attainable. You may have wondered if the promises God has whispered to your heart would ever come to fruition. You might have even felt that the delay was a sign that God had forgotten or abandoned you. But I want you to hear this clearly, chosen one. God's promises do not fail. His timing is perfect, and He has been preparing you for the exact moment that is about to arrive. Your breakthrough is not just a momentary event, it is the culmination of everything you have walked through, everything you have endured, and everything you have learned. It is the result of the quiet work God has done in you and the trust you've placed in His process. And when that breakthrough comes, it will come with a force and a clarity that cannot be ignored. You see, breakthrough doesn't always happen in a dramatic moment of sudden change. It is often a process, a series of small shifts that align to create something powerful and transformative. And this is where the beauty of divine timing comes into play. You may not see it yet, but everything in your life is aligning. Every moment, every step, every seemingly insignificant change is building toward the breakthrough that is about to be released into your life. God has been working behind the scenes, orchestrating the details, positioning people and circumstances, and preparing you to walk into the fullness of your calling. But here's something important. When the breakthrough comes, it will require your participation. This isn't a passive process. God will open the doors, but you must be ready to walk through them. The breakthrough is coming, and God is calling you to step forward in faith, knowing that everything He has promised is yours. It is time for you to claim what has already been prepared for you. Take a moment to think about the Israelites who were led by God out of Egypt. When they stood at the edge of the Red Sea, they couldn't see how they would make it through. The sea was in front of them, the Egyptian army was behind them, and there seemed to be no way forward. But in that moment, God instructed Moses to raise his staff, and the waters parted, making a way where there had been none. The Israelites' breakthrough didn't come in the way they expected. It didn't come without effort or trust, but when they stepped forward, the sea parted, and they walked through on dry ground. Your breakthrough may not look like you expect it to. It may not come in a way you thought it would. But what matters is that you take that first step. You take that step with faith, knowing that God is leading you forward. And when you take that step, you will find that the way has already been made for you. This breakthrough, chosen one, is not just about external circumstances. It's about your heart, your spirit, and your mind. It's about stepping into the fullness of who God has created you to be. It's It's about stepping into the life you've always dreamed of, the life that God has designed for you since the beginning of time. But to do that, you must trust the process and move forward in obedience. I know that you've had moments of doubt. I know that you've questioned whether or not you are capable, whether or not you are worthy. But chosen one, I want to remind you that you are worthy. You are more than capable, not because of your own strength, but because of God's power at work within you. His promises over your life are yes and amen. And as you step into your breakthrough, you will see that God has been preparing you all along. The story of David is another beautiful example of a breakthrough that came in God's perfect timing. David was anointed king as a young boy, but it wasn't until years later that he actually stepped into that role. He had to face giants, endure hardship, and wait for God's timing. But when the time came, David was ready. The breakthrough was not sudden. It came with preparation, testing, and trust. And when David finally became king, it wasn't just a victory, it was the fulfillment of a divine purpose that had been established long before his birth. In the same way, your breakthrough is coming, but it requires preparation, it requires trust. It requires you to step forward in faith, knowing that God has been working in you to make you ready for what He is about to do. And when that breakthrough comes, you will see that it was worth every moment of waiting, every season of silence, and every step of surrender. This breakthrough is more than just a change in your circumstances. It's a shift in your spirit. It's a shift in your identity. It's a shift in how you see yourself, how you see your life, and how you see your purpose. This is the moment when you step into the fullness of who God has called you to be. This is the moment when you finally embrace the destiny that has been waiting for you all along. But in order to step into this new season, you must let go of the old. You must release the old narratives, the old fears, and the old ways of thinking. You must step into the new with open hands, ready to receive all that God has for you. It's not about striving. It's about receiving. It's about walking in the fullness of God's grace and trusting that He is leading you into the future He has prepared for you. As you step forward, chosen one, know that you are not walking alone. God is with you. His presence goes before you. His strength upholds you, and His love surrounds you. You are walking into the breakthrough that God has already prepared for you. It is not something you have to earn or achieve. It is something you simply need to receive. And as you walk in this breakthrough, you will begin to see the changes in your life. The doors that once seemed closed will open. The opportunities that once seemed impossible will become a reality. The relationships that once felt strained will be restored. And you, chosen one, will step into the fullness of your purpose with confidence and peace. Remember, this breakthrough is not just for you. It's for those around you. As you step into your purpose, you will begin to see the ripple effect of God's work in your life. Your breakthrough will be a testimony to others. It will be a sign of God's faithfulness, His timing, and His power. And as you walk in that breakthrough, you will inspire others to trust God's timing in their own lives. Chosen one, the time has come. Your breakthrough is not a distant dream, it is a present reality. It is already unfolding. And as you step into it, you will see the hand of God at work in every part of your life. The path ahead is clear, the way is open, and you, chosen one, are ready to walk into the fullness of your divine purpose. Chosen one, as we continue to walk through this journey of transformation, let's take a moment to reflect on what comes after. Breakthrough, the maintenance and cultivation of the new things God is doing in your life. You've been through the quiet preparation, the waiting, the realignment, and the breakthrough. But now you are entering into a new season, one that requires you to not only embrace what God has done, but to also continue moving forward with intentionality, wisdom, and an open heart. As the doors begin to open, the opportunities begin to unfold, and the blessings start to flow. It's easy to become overwhelmed. It's easy to get caught up in the excitement of the moment and think that everything will simply fall into place. But the truth is, breakthrough is not the end of the journey. It's the beginning of a new chapter. It's the start of a process that requires constant attention, nurturing, and alignment with God's will. This season is not about rushing forward with the hope of achieving more. It's about settling into the peace and grace that God has made available to you in this new chapter. It's about letting go of the urgency, the pressure, and the striving, and instead learning how to walk in rhythm with God's plan step by step. Think of the way a gardener nurtures new plants. When a seed is first planted, there is excitement, anticipation, and hope. But the gardener knows that the real work begins after the seed has been sown. The plant needs to be tended to, watered, and cared for as it grows. It's not enough to simply plant the seed. The gardener must remain patient, watchful, and dedicated to the process of growth. In the same way, you must tend to the breakthroughs in your life. You must nurture what God has planted in you. You must water the seeds of faith, trust, and obedience that have been sown in your spirit. It's easy to become distracted by the next thing, the next opportunity, or the next step. But the key to sustaining this new season is in your ability to stay grounded, present, and intentional with the work that God is doing in you. When you step into a new season of purpose, there's a natural temptation to rush ahead, to push for results, to try and control the outcomes. But remember this truth: the greatest work in your life happens when you learn to align with God's pace, not your own. The world tells you to rush, to move quickly, to climb higher and faster. But God calls you to be still, to rest in His presence, and to walk with Him. He's not in a hurry, and neither should you be. This is not to say that there isn't work to be done. There is. The work of cultivating your new season requires intentional effort. It requires your active participation. But the key to sustaining your breakthrough is in your willingness to trust God's timing and to remain focused on His will. Just as a gardener nurtures the plant, you must nurture your heart, your spirit, and your relationships. The process of cultivation is ongoing. It's not a one-time event. It's a continual partnership with God. And as you walk through this new season, it's important to remember that you don't have to have all the answers. You don't have to know exactly how everything will unfold. What matters is your willingness to stay present and trust that God is guiding you every step of the way. Think of the story of the Israelites in the wilderness. They had been set free from Egypt, and God had promised them a land of their own. But in the wilderness, they had to learn to rely on God for everything. He provided manna from heaven to feed them, and He led them with a cloud by day and a pillar of fire by night. They had to trust God's provision every single day. And while they were walking through the wilderness, they were being prepared for the land that God had promised them. The wilderness was not easy, but it was necessary. It was in that season that the Israelites learned to trust God fully. They learned that their breakthrough was not just about reaching the promised land, it was about their relationship with God, their dependence on Him, and their willingness to follow His guidance. And just as the Israelites needed to trust God's timing and provision, so do you. In this new season, you will need to trust God's guidance more than ever before. He will lead you through the next steps, and even when the path ahead seems unclear, you can trust that He is with you. He is not asking you to figure it all out on your own. He is asking you to walk with Him, to trust Him, and to follow His lead. And in doing so, you will find the peace, the clarity, and the direction you need. As you walk through this new season of breakthrough, you will also experience a deepening of your character. Just as a tree must be rooted deeply in the soil to withstand the winds and storms, so must your faith be rooted deeply in God. The deeper your roots go, the more resilient you will be when challenges come. And rest assured, challenges will come. Life will continue to present obstacles and difficulties, but the key is in how you respond. When your faith is rooted in God's promises, when you trust in His timing and provision, you will find that you can weather any storm. Your faith will not be shaken by circumstances because you know that God is in control. And this unwavering trust will enable you to stay grounded no matter what comes your way. In this season of cultivation, you will also experience a deepening of your purpose. The breakthroughs you've experienced are not the end, they are the beginning of a new phase of your calling. As you continue to walk in alignment with God's will, you will find that your purpose becomes clearer. You will begin to see how all the pieces of your life fit together, and you will understand the unique role you have in God's plan. Your purpose is not just something you do, It's who you are. It's the unique way that God has designed you to impact the world around you. As you continue to grow and cultivate the breakthroughs in your life, you will begin to walk in the fullness of that purpose. You will begin to see the fruit of your labor, the impact of your obedience, and the ways that God is using you to make a difference. So, chosen one, don't rush. Take the time to nurture what God is doing in you. Take the time to be present, to trust His timing, and to walk in alignment with His will. This is a season of deep cultivation, and as you tend to what God is doing, you will see the fruit of your labor in due time. You are not alone in this. God is with you, guiding you, nurturing you, and preparing you for everything that is to come. Remember, the breakthrough is not the end of the story. It's the beginning of something new. And what comes next is even greater than what you have experienced so far. Keep your heart open. Keep trusting and keep walking with God. His purpose for your life is unfolding, and you are right where you need to be.